Welcome. Now that we've created our models, we're going to be working on how to register our user. So we're going to be creating a new account. Okay, so let's do that. To register a user, we need to go to the controller, and we're going to do user controller. I'm going to create a new file. I'll call that user controller.js. We're going to require our user. Going to require our user, and we're going to be getting that from our models folder, user. We're going to be needing bcrypt. So we're requiring bcrypt.js. I'm sorry, not .js. Going to be needing JWT, JSON Web Token, and of course our colors. All right. So let's create the create a function for us to register our user. So let's just call it register user, just like that. Let's give it a little bit of signature. Okay, register. Description, register user, access is public. Okay. Let's create our try catch. And of course, we have to add some styles to this error to this console log right here, so we'll be able to identify it here in our terminal should it ever be triggered. Okay, so we're going to do backtick error. Again, you don't have to do this. It's just something that I like to do myself, because sometimes your terminal gets clogged with a lot of stuff. So if it helps you identify things that could be useful. So if an error is triggered, it helps. So we're gonna do BG for BG red, so background red. We're gonna do underline bold. Granted, this might be a little bit overkill, but I like it. All right. What are we needing from the user? We need the email and password. Okay. So let's deconstruct email and password from the body. Okay. Now let's see if our email was sent. First, we're going to check to see if if we got an email. We're going to verify that it's an email, and we're also going to do some validation also for the password. Okay. So we're going to do if not email. Okay. If not email, we're going to return an error. Okay? We're going to say email is required. So that's if an email was not sent. Okay. What if there was something that was passed as an email, but we need to verify that it is an actual email rather than just a random string. Okay. We're going to create a function. Okay. Let's say validated email. Okay, that's the function. Let's say if it's not validated. Okay, so if we didn't get an email, or we got an email object, but the object was not really an email, so we're gonna trigger email is required. All right, and so let's create our let's create this validate email here. Validate email. Okay. So it's function validate email. We're gonna take the email, okay, and we're gonna be using regex. So we're gonna do const regex // capital S plus @ like this. And then we're going to say return regex test, and we're going to test email. So if this is an actual email, a valid email would contain the @ okay? If it doesn't have the @ it's not an email. So if it is a valid email, it's going to return true, else it's going to return false. That's all we're checking for, okay? Let's do the same thing for our password, okay? So we're going to do if not password. I'm going to say password is required. So we also need our password to be certain length, okay? So let's say or password length is less than 6. So we're going to say a valid password with a minimum of 6 characters is required. Okay? Now, if we get past this and we didn't trigger any errors, now what we have to do, we have to verify that we don't have an email, we don't have a user already in existence. All right, so let's say let's call that new user. You're gonna say find one, and we're gonna pass it the email. All right, if user, all right, if user, we're gonna send an error message saying user already exists. We're gonna send a status 404, that's an error message. We're gonna say user already exists. If we've passed these 3 tests, now we can say new user is equal to new user, and we're going to say email password. All right, so just for now, all right, let's return this new user. We haven't saved it to our system yet. Okay, JSON new user. All right, let's go to Thunder client collection. Let's create a new collection. Let's say address book. Create a new folder, user and auth, and inside that, let us create a new request. We're going to say register user. That is going to be a post base URL users register. But before we're able to do that, let's go back to our server. Okay. Actually, you know what? We're gonna stop this video right here, and then in the next one, we'll do a quick test for it. All right? Let's stop it right here.